Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories making headlines this evening.
She had a sexual relationship with Chief Mapia. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
And you have evidence of that you will include in your supplementary statement.
Former Ekurhuleni City Manager Dr. Imogen Mashazi has launched an attack on the credibility of suspended EMPD Chief Isaac Mapia, and Minister Senzo Mchunu is expected to take the stand tomorrow afternoon. US President Donald Trump is facing renewed scrutiny over his handling of foreign policy on two fronts, escalating tension with Venezuela while simultaneously expressing confidence in a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine.
When you have to go back from 54 to 25, that means that you have to drop 30 players.
And with one eye on the Africa Cup of Nations tournament and another on the future, Bafana coach has named his 25-player squad for the continental tournament in Morocco later this month. It has just gone 8 o'clock. Good evening and a warm welcome to Prime News on 3. I am Paulette Nell. An absolute pleasure it is to be in your company this evening as we bring you the latest happening in and around your world. Let's get straight into it. We begin with this evening. Former Ekurhuleni City Manager Dr. Imogen Mashazi seemingly launched an attack on the credibility of suspended EMPD Chief Isaac Mapia by claiming that he is not a victim but an alleged perpetrator who allegedly fathered children with his subordinates. This approach quickly fell to pieces as the spotlight circled back to Mashazi, who was burdened with questions of proof and her perceived inaction in the face of this allegation and many others under her reign as the city's accounting officer.
Dr. Imogen Mashazi attempted to ride the woman empowerment wave in order to out now suspended EMPD chief Isaac Mapia as an alleged perpetrator of abuse towards young women officials within the city of Ekurhuleni that she described as his quote-unquote angels. The serious allegations she made, which also extend to alleged sexual assault, would however circle back to what evidence she has to support the said allegations, as well as Mashazi's perceived pattern of inaction in the face of gross misconduct during her tenure.
Do you say it as a fact that
fact
Colonel Tipa had an improper relationship with Chief Mapia, and in particular, and maybe let me put it as specific as what I think you're suggesting, she had a sexual relationship with Chief Mapia. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
And you have evidence of that you will include in your supplementary statement?
Evidence of them having an affair. Did you ask for evidence from Olani?
No.
Ma'am, did you ask evidence from Nwiza when he said, I have extramural activities with Mkhwanazi?
I'm asking you the question. You don't ask me questions. I ask you questions.
So I have no comment.
May I please speak? You are a witness. You have to allow me to speak and we will give you the chance to answer.
The attention shifted back to Mashazi, who could not point to any action that she took after learning of these alleged quote-unquote horrendous acts. The pattern of inaction further extended to the IPID report that highlighted gross misconduct by the now suspended acting EMPD chief, Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, who allegedly signed a memorandum of agreement between EMPD and Vusimuzi Katmatlala's private security firm. Mashazi, as the accounting officer, did not act on this report, but relied on an internal legal opinion to quote-unquote clear Mkhwanazi.
Someone comes with a report. You have perused and seen very serious allegations which make reference to fraud. So someone comes and just says there's no case here. And you do not engage on the specific allegations that you have read, you yourself have read. How can an executive, most senior executive or top administrator act in that manner?
Mashazi denies shielding Mkhwanazi from accountability and participating in lifting his suspension. This is despite evidence that she allegedly spearheaded and was intimately involved in Kwanazi's return to work. The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Meanwhile, Minister of Police Senzo Mchunu, who's currently on a leave of absence, is expected to take the stand at the Matlanga Commission tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Mchunu's 31st December 2024 decision to disband the Political Killings Task Team, or the PKTT, is at the heart of this probe and triggered the 6th July media briefing of KZN top cop Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. The briefing alleged, among other things, that the disbandment decision by Mchunu was allegedly means to shield criminal cartels. In addition, evidence before the probe has alleged that the decision was unlawful and the minister was not empowered to take it. To this now, the ANC says it is all systems go for the party's National General Council next week. The ANC will hold its midterm review of the elected leadership on the state of the country, economy, governance and the organization. Bilateral relations between the ANC and the SACP will also be discussed at the NGC, as the SACP is refusing to back down on its conference resolution to contest the upcoming local government elections.
A special focus will be placed on governance and performance, especially local government interventions, economic action priorities, and strengthening the ANC in communities. We welcome the President's address to the nation delivered last night, particularly the emphasis on stability, unity, and renewal. His message aligns with the spirit in which the ANC approaches the National General Council, a forum for critical reflection and strengthening our mandate to serve the people. The President's address reinforced confidence in the country's direction and the ANC's leadership role in ensuring a better life for all.
In return, judgment has been reserved in the application by former President to obtain a leave to appeal the ruling by the High Court in Pretoria in October, compelling him to pay back the 28.9 million rand of state money used to fund his defense in his long-standing arms deal case. Welcome back. To this now, judgment has been reserved in the application by former President Jacob Zuma to obtain a leave to appeal the ruling by the High Court in Pretoria in October, compelling him to pay back 28.9 million rand of state money used to fund his defense in his long-standing arms deal case. The court ordered Zuma to pay back the money within 60 days or risk his assets, including his presidential pension, being seized.
The court did not say he enabled the state conduct. They did say he contributed to the state's unconstitutional conduct. It did not say that he abused his position, either as a politician or even when he became president, to derive this benefit. There was no finding whatsoever by the courts that was the case. So we would say that and it is in the interest of justice that either the full bench or the Supreme Court of Appeal should examine those questions of whether the order granted by your lordship was a just and equitable order.
This order is essential for the vindication of the rule of law and the correction of the first respondent's use of public resources to enable him to defend himself against the criminal charges brought against him and to litigate in various related civil proceedings on a most luxurious scale.
The Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, or the Hawks, is not ruling out the possibility of more arrests around the alleged recruitment of South Africans for the Russia-Ukraine war. 5 accused appeared before the Kempton Park Magistrates Court for contravening the Regulation of Foreign Military Assistance Act. They were arrested at the weekend en route to Russia.
appearing.
Nonkululeko Mantula, Thulani Mazibuko, Xolani Ntuli, Siphamandla Shabalala, and Sfiso Mabena appeared briefly in the Kempton Park Magistrates Court. They are allegedly part of a probe involving individuals who were intending to provide unlawful military assistance to Russia.
Members of OR Tambo SAPS noticed suspicious people who were at a boarding gate, and they managed to contain them, which followed an interview. During that interview, it was amassed that these people were allegedly on their way to Russia, wherein it is purported that they will be part of the war that's going on there.
The Hawks say it is still unclear how the accused, who are all from Gauteng, were lured. They are yet to ascertain the role of the woman behind the recruitment. The state has indicated that it might not oppose the granting of bail.
There is a good possibility that the state will, after certain preliminary investigations regarding the granting of bail, that the state will not object to the granting of bail.
The accused are expected back in court next week Monday for a formal bail application. Neria Shakota, SABC News, Kempton Park, Ekurhuleni.
To this now, 2 Operation Dudula members who were arrested during a protest at the G20 National Leaders Summit last month have been granted bail of 10,000 rand each by the Boyson's Magistrates Court. Stephen Mkhize and Bush Mahlangu are facing charges of inciting public violence, common assault and grievous bodily harm.
The pair is part of the 13 people who were arrested for various crimes during the summit. They were arrested after a clash with the police when they attempted to breach the security perimeter and block access and road usage by delegates. Delivering the verdict on their bail application, the court found an amount of 10,000 rand suitable.
The very seriousness of this offense, I'm of the view that an appropriate sentence, appropriate bail will be an amount of, for each accused, will be an amount of 10,000 rand.
The accused's legal representative says they are not happy with the bail amount.
They have been granted bail of 10,000 rand. It is a Schedule 1 offence. However, the magistrate saw fit that they should be granted bail for 10,000 rand. And the reason behind that is the seriousness of the charge. However, we as the defence, we are not happy about the 10,000 rand. However, we will let the law, we respect the court's decisions with regards to that.
54-year-old Mkhize and 47-year-old Mahlangu deny the charges. The matter will return to court in February next year. Calvin Dudula, SABC News, Johannesburg.
After the break, Bafana coach Hugo Bruce has named his 25-player squad for the Continental Tournament in Morocco later this month. Welcome back to this now. Despite efforts to deal with the scourge of HIV/AIDS in the country, challenges remain. The Health Department in Mpumalanga has taken steps to deal with the rising number of HIV/AIDS related cases. The department officially honored community health care workers in Mbombela with permanent contracts as they continue to provide door-to-door services.
Celebrating World AIDS Day by honoring community healthcare workers. These workers visit people's homes and assist them with their health issues. Health MEC Sasakani Manzini says community healthcare workers are an important part of curbing the spread of HIV and AIDS. She says the province is doing well in its efforts to achieve the UNAIDS 95-95-95 targets by 2030.
They go door to door They also assist us in terms of the follow-up. Remember, Minister launched the 1.1 million gap in the country for those people who have tested positive, but now they went to take treatment, no longer taking it, or they did not take treatment at all.
The Oram Institute in Mbombela uses interpersonal consultations to encourage people, especially men, to know their status.
So what we've seen over the years that when men are given that interpersonal care and support, they do test, they do also get to stay on treatment. We've tested over 2,000 men in the Hlanzeni area, and we have about over 430 men that have been remaining on treatment.
The latest statistics show that around 8 million people in South Africa live with HIV, which is estimated to represent a prevalence of about 12.7% of the population. Nhlanhla Jele, SABC News, Mbombela, Mpumalanga.
Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump is facing renewed scrutiny over his handling of foreign policy on two fronts, escalating tensions with Venezuela while simultaneously expressing confidence in a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. This follows a confirmation of a phone call with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and a warning declaring Venezuelan airspace closed.
Speaking aboard Air Force One, Trump confirmed that he had a phone call with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but refused to give any details, saying it was only a phone call. The comment came a day after he publicly warned airlines, pilots and traffickers that the Venezuelan airspace should be considered closed in its entirety, a statement which sparked anxiety in the Caracaras, but which Trump insists should not be interpreted as signaling an imminent airstrike.
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
In Venezuela, the National Assembly says it is launching an investigation into what it calls extrajudicial executions after U.S. strikes on suspected drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. Lawmakers say they will activate the Prosecutor General's office and demand accountability over what they describe as unlawful killings.
We will activate the action of the Attorney General's office to address the crimes committed against Venezuelans and Latin Americans.
Que se han cometido contra venezolanos y contra latinoamericanos. At the same time, Trump is projecting optimism over negotiations to end the more than 3-year-long war between Russia and Ukraine. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to travel to Moscow next week for further talks. I'm Batali Pile, SABC News.
And now here's the latest market update as recorded at 7:30 this evening. And in your sports news this evening, with one eye on the Africa Cup of Nations tournament and another on the future, Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce named his 25-player squad for the Continental Tournament in Morocco later this month. The squad is a blend of youth and experience with a few surprises.
Bruce is at home in Belgium and made the announcement virtually. He will travel from Europe to the United States to attend Friday's 2026 FIFA World Cup draw in Washington.
When you have to go back from 54 to 25, that means that you have to drop 30 players, and I'm sure of it that in those players I had to drop, that there will be players who maybe deserve to be with us in AFCON next month.
The bulk of this squad could also travel to the World Cup in the Americas next year, while Saudi Arabia-based winger Elias Mukwana has been recalled. It seems time has run out for the experienced Themba Zwane and Thembinkosi Lodge. The inclusion of Amajita captain Tylon Smith and Belgium-based Chandra Campbell, who will be gradually introduced into the squad, took some by surprise, but Bruce received a unanimous thumbs up.
Yeah, not a lot of big surprises, I don't think. If you look at how the coach had been building his squad in the World Cup qualifiers and the AFCON qualifiers previously, you expected the bulk of the names that were there, 25-man squad.
The final list of 23 players will be submitted to CAF 10 days before the start of the tournament. Sfiso Ramara, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Well, time now to see what the weather has in store for us. Over to the weather desk for the latest.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the weather desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. We're going to look what's happening for tonight. We're still at the trough sitting over the central parts of the country and still causing up to 60% chance of showers and then showers as we move into that interior of Limpopo, stretching into Gauteng all the way into Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. It is going to be a clear night as we move into Cape Town for tonight. For tomorrow, we're extending a bit of intensity with an 80% chance of showers and then showers as we move into Limpopo, Gauteng, Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. Those widespread showers and thunder showers means that persistent rainfall, which will lead to flooding in places. 60% chance of showers and thunder showers still expected as we move toward the central parts of the country, with Cape Town still expecting a clear day for tomorrow, stretching into the interior of the Northern Cape. Looking at our warnings for tonight, we're expecting a level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm over most of Gauteng, stretching into Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal and into the interior of the Eastern Cape and the Northwest. For tomorrow, we're expecting up to level 4 as we move towards Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Free State and KwaZulu-Natal, but we're still expecting a level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm now as we move into that interior of the Eastern Cape. We're talking places such as Mthatha and also Maletswai. Limpopo, level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm also expected for tomorrow. Do remember, the severe thunderstorms for tonight and also for tomorrow can be accompanied by a large amount of small hail, heavy downpours which can lead to flooding and possibilities of strong damaging winds. So please, let's be careful over those areas. In terms of temperatures for tonight, it is going to be a cool night over most of the country, but cold as we move towards Sunderland with a low of 8, 17 over Cape Town, Upington dropping down to 21, and also as we move towards Pretoria, expecting a minimum of 14. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow, it is quite a warm day as we move towards Pretoria with a high of 27. Hot day as we move into Musina, the maximum of 34. As we move to other central parts of the country, do remember we do have those rainy conditions for tomorrow. Bloemfontein at a high of 29 and also Sunderland cold for tonight, but for tomorrow expecting a high of 26. The mother city, it is going to be a clear day for tomorrow with the maximum of 25. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
That concludes our time together this evening. Much gratitude for joining us. Tomorrow, unfortunately, we will not be on your screens. We make way for the international friendly match between Banyana and Morocco at Stade Agadir in Morocco. Until next time, it's good night. God bless. Pula.